Your voice, your vote election coverage tonight. We highlight the race for Spokane County Prosecutor, an open seat after Steve Tucker decided not to run for re-election. Last night, we heard from Republican Larry Haskell. Tonight, his Democratic opponent, Breean Beggs, joined us now in our studio to answer your questions. These are questions that were posed on my Facebook page by our listeners and our viewers and people on Facebook. So a lot of good questions here. Yeah. The first one, Breean, thank you again for joining us live in our studio
tonight. It's great to be here.
Michael says, your leadership and activism with Envision Spokane, that's the community group with a Bill of Rights on such issues as neighborhoods and the workplace in Spokane River, is a key component of who you are. How will that influence you as a prosecutor?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to. I was a lawyer that helped people get initiatives on the ballot. I'm very committed to citizens getting to vote on the ballot. So I've helped those folks, and I've helped several groups who wanted to get initiatives. I helped the Recall Jim West campaign really keep their arguments so that the voters will get to decide. So I did help democracy work on that.
All right. Sean says, having represented the Zem family, how would you you as a prosecutor, stop such a miscarriage of justice from happening again? We should say, of course, Otto Zem, the janitor who died after a confrontation with Spokane police back in 2006.
Well, when I'm in office, I'm going to have one dedicated deputy prosecutor that's just going to be a specialist on police issues. Most of the police killings are not illegal, not wrong, but they just drag on forever. And so the officers don't get back to work. The families wonder, the community wonders. So we're going to have a dedicated prosecutor that gets that done. We're going to work with the Attorney General's office if there's a conflict of interest so that they can come in. And I'm going to continue to push for a coroner inquest where we have a quick jury and figure out what happened on the case early.
So you want to speed things up because the Otto Zem situation, that trial and how that was resolved took quite a lot of time.
It took years and years, and it was very painful, and it really broke the relationship between the police and the community. And I've been about putting that back together. Now that we've got an ombudsman, and we've got new statutes, new leadership, I think we're almost there. But it's going to take someone that understands all of it to put it back together.
Cody says, if I-594, which you support, passes, do you believe that criminals, mentally ill or dangerous people would be able to obtain guns by stealing lawfully purchased guns or from buying guns illegally off the streets?
So we already have a problem of people stealing guns from people. And our police are on that. We're working on that. The problem has been a lot of people have been able to sell guns without background checks to felons who shouldn't have them. So 594 would limit that. Some people are concerned about the Second Amendment, though. And as the prosecutor, my oath is to the Constitution and the Second Amendment. So I would enforce 594 consistent with the Second Amendment. And I'm a constitutional lawyer, so I think we'll be able to figure that out.
Okay. Kenny says, how is your position going to be any different from Steve Tucker's with law enforcement specifically?
Well, I'm not sure what Steve Tucker's position was in law enforcement because we never really heard from him one way or the other. We knew he was former law enforcement. I have a good relationship with the...
I think this person thinks he was easy on law enforcement.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have a good relationship with the sheriff and with the police chief. We meet regularly and some of their top people on how to keep the law enforcement really performing for Spokane. And we've come up with reforms over the last few years, and we would implement more. And again, if there's a suspicion that an officer has violated someone's rights, we'll look into it right away. If it's really obvious, we'll prosecute it, of course. If it's really obviously they've done nothing, then we won't. But if it's in between, then we'll get the Attorney General's special unit for government corruption and issues on it, just like they're doing right now for the deputy who was in trial today.
Right. All right, Breean Beggs, we've run out of time. Thanks so much for talking with us, and good luck. One more week until Election Day.
And thank you. And everyone, you got to get your ballot in order to be heard.
That's what the push is right now, right?
Yep.